While the 501st Legion is undeniably the most iconic clone unit in Star Wars, the 212th Attack Battalion and its parent unit, the 7th Sky Corps, come in second place. Known for their orange armor paint jobs and their loyalty to Obi-Wan Kenobi, the clones of the 7th Sky Corps were highly skilled and made regular appearances on the front lines of the Clone Wars. From the conflict's first months to the end of the Outer Rim sieges, the 7th Sky Corps and its component units played a major role in the Clone Wars, and in this video, we're going to be going through the full timeline of their engagements.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
The 7th Sky Corps was the most well-known corps in the 3rd Systems Army, one of the Grand Army of the Republic's largest subdivisions. And it was the unit assigned to High General Obi-Wan Kenobi after his promotion to the Jedi Council. The 7th Sky Corps was commanded by Marshal Commander CC-2224, better known as Cody, and as the unit's name suggests, the corps specialized in aerial insertions and fast attack tactics. As a corps, it contained 36,864 clone troopers in total, 567 of which were members of the 212th Attack Battalion, a famous elite unit that often fought in the front lines of the 7th Sky Corps' battles. The 212th itself contained Ghost Company, which accompanied General Kenobi himself in the early stages of several major battles, as well as the 2nd Airborne Company, a unit of clone airborne troopers. The 7th Sky Corps, especially the 212th Attack Battalion, tended to be assigned to campaigns where the Republic was on the offensive, and the clones in these units specialized in invasions and sieges. In several notable battles, the 212th Attack Battalion was sent to break the siege of an enemy-held fortress or capital city. Many units within the 7th Sky Corps were composed of airborne troopers who were issued specialized helmets, parachutes, and jetpacks designed to allow them to perform high-altitude drops onto enemy positions. Many of the non-paratrooper clones in the 7th Sky Corps were still trained in the use of jetpacks, and some of them, most notably Commander Cody himself, incorporated jetpacks into their standard kit. It's worth noting that this makes the 7th Sky Corps the heirs to one of the Republic's most ancient military traditions, the rocket jumpers, a famed unit of the original Republic military that acted as the spearhead of Republic ground forces for 10,000 years. Like the airborne troopers of the 212th, the rocket jumpers would perform high-altitude drops onto enemy positions using specialized jetpacks, and they were considered the most elite non-Jedi unit in the Republic Army for most of its history, renowned for their decisive roles in countless crises. By the time of the Clone Wars, the rocket jumpers were a thing of the past, but the 7th Sky Corps represented a sort of revival of the concept, and they lived up to the name of their forebears. The 7th Sky Corps came under command of General Kenobi during the first few months of the Clone Wars. At the time, the unit was not yet led by Commander Cody, who was just a captain at the time and had also yet to choose the name Cody. His promotion to Marshal Commander and overall command of the unit came at Kenobi's suggestion later on. Kenobi's clone liaison at this time was the ARC Trooper Alpha 17, who wasn't attached to any particular unit at the time. It isn't known when exactly Kenobi took command of the 7th Sky Corps, but at the latest, it happened 4 months into the conflict, when Kenobi received a promotion to Jedi Master, the rank of High General, and command of the entire 3rd Systems Army, all at once. This was just prior to the Battle of Munilinst, the 7th Sky Corps' first known engagement, in which most of the 3rd Army participated. The 7th Sky Corps doesn't seem to have had a special role in the Battle of Munilinst, being one of many 3rd Army units participating in Kenobi's all-out offensive against the strongholds of the intergalactic banking clan. It was the sort of mission that the 7th Sky Corps, the 212th especially, would eventually become renowned for, a highly aggressive, all-out assault in enemy territory. Despite suffering significant casualties, the 3rd Army won the Battle of Munilinst, capturing the IGBC's homeworld for the Republic. After this massive victory, Kenobi received a promotion to the Jedi High Council, filling the seat left empty when Depa Billaba lost her mind in the jungles of Harun Kal. Fresh from their victory at Munilinst, Kenobi and a detachment of the 3rd Army, including parts of the 7th Sky Corps, were next assigned to retake Jabim from the CIS-backed Jabimi nationalists. But if you've heard about Jabim before, you probably know that the battle was a disaster for Republic forces. Early in the battle, General Kenobi and Alpha 17 were presumed killed in action in an attack on the Republic's main base, and the 7th Sky Corps and the rest of the Republic invasion army was absolutely massacred in a vicious 43-day slog. Tens of thousands of clones and dozens of Jedi were killed, with only Anakin Skywalker and a small group of clones escaping Jabim alive. As you could probably guess, Kenobi wasn't actually killed on Jabim, and nor was Alpha. They'd been captured by Asajj Ventress and spent weeks being tortured before escaping and returning to the Republic. When they did, Alpha 17 left the 3rd Army behind, returning to Kamino to train clone commanders to think like ARC troopers. Alpha promised to send Kenobi back a new clone liaison who was every bit as competent as he had been, and who, per the insistence of Anakin Skywalker, had been given a proper name. Several clone officers from the 7th Sky Corps were recalled to Kamino to be part of Alpha's first class, including Marshal Commander CC-2224, the 7th Sky Corps' top officer, who took the name Cody before returning to serve as General Kenobi's new clone commander. Cody's first engagement after graduating from Alpha's class wasn't actually under General Kenobi. In the Battle of Score 2, Cody and the 7th Sky Corps actually served under Mace Windu, protecting the Squib homeworld from separatist attack. Not long after, Cody and the 7th Sky Corps fought under Kenobi in the Battle of Zudja, leading a diversionary assault on a key separatist droid factory. The battle was won when the factory was destroyed by Jedi sabotage, adding another victory to the 7th Sky Corps' record. At Zudja, then Padawan Anakin Skywalker had fought as a commander with the 7th Sky Corps, but shortly after that particular battle, Skywalker was promoted to the ranks of Jedi Knight and General, and he received command of a unit of his own, the 501st Legion. Due to Skywalker and Kenobi's continued friendship and powerful synergy in battle, the 501st Legion and 7th Sky Corps often fought alongside each other, with the 212th Attack Battalion especially joining the 501st in engagements, beginning with the Battle of Christosis. The 212th played a relatively minor part at Christosis, as the 501st and local clone units put in most of the work in liberating the planet from the Confederacy, but Commander Cody had a key role in planning the Republic's strategies during the ground offensives. Shortly after Christosis, the 212th Attack Battalion also participated in the Battle of Teth, in which they rescued what was left of Torrent Company from the armies of Asajj Ventress and allowed Skywalker and his new Padawan to complete their rescue of Rotta the Hutt. Not long after this engagement, a detachment of the 212th also participated in the Battle of Juma 9, in which they helped retake a Republic space station from separatist-aligned scientist called Teska. In early 21 BBY, General Kenobi, Commander Cody, and the 7th Sky Corps participated in two of the war's most significant battles, the Battle for Ryloth and the Second Battle of Geonosis. At Ryloth, the 212th's Ghost Company was one of the first clone units to land as part of the Republic counter-invasion of the planet. The Ghost Company was tasked with destroying a cluster of proton cannons in the village of Nabat that were preventing Republic forces from landing, and once that mission was accomplished, the rest of the 7th Sky Corps descended on Ryloth, liberating several of the planet's cities from separatist occupation. Cody's men played a major role in the eventual Republic victory on Ryloth, and they played an even bigger one in the Republic victory on Geonosis. In the Second Battle of Geonosis, the 212th Attack Battalion was one of 3 battalions assigned to secure the main Republic landing zone at Point Rain. However, the initial stages of the invasion went sideways, and Commander Cody and a much reduced detachment of the 212th were the only ones to actually make it to Point Rain as planned. Nonetheless, they were able to defend the site against relentless waves of Geonosian and Droid Army troops, holding out until air support cleared the area. The 212th and other units then took out the shield generator protecting Poggle the Lesser's droid factory, allowing the main thrust of the invasion to proceed. The 7th Sky Corps suffered heavy losses in the Second Battle of Geonosis, but it brought the Republic victory in a battle that would have ended in disaster without Cody's leadership. Throughout the remainder of 21 BBY, the 7th Sky Corps made regular appearances on the front lines. In the Battle of Seleucami, not to be confused with the Siege of Seleucami that began a year and a half later, the 212th led a manhunt for General Grievous after the Republic Navy routed his fleet in orbit. A few months later, the 212th also participated in the defense of Camino alongside the 501st Legion. The 212th, yet again, seemingly didn't play too important a role in that battle, but the same can't be said for the unit's next major engagement, the Battle of Umbara. In the Battle of Umbara, the 7th Sky Corps' first major engagement after the introduction of Phase 2 armor, the 212th Attack Battalion led the siege of the Umbaran capital as, by this point, the unit had developed a reputation for successful sieges. Several other clone units participated in the assault on the capital, but the 212th and the rest of the 7th Sky Corps led the main thrust. They did so with much less support than they were expecting, as General Ponkrell, who had taken command of the 501st Legion for battle, was deliberately hindering the Republic offensive to curry favour with Count Dooku. The 7th Sky Corps ultimately did most of the heavy lifting in the assault on the Umbaran capital, pressing on despite a lack of support and constant harassment from orbiting separatist missile cruisers. Their already bad luck was worsened when Krell diverted a platoon from Ghost Company into the 501st's theatre, deliberately causing a gruesome friendly fire incident. Following the revelation of Krell's treachery, troopers from the 212th helped the 501st capture Krell and relieve him of command. As they were doing so, the rest of the 7th Sky Corps captured the Umbaran capital and forced the Umbaran government to surrender, winning the battle all but single-handedly. Despite the Republic victory on Umbara, the 7th Sky Corps suffered heavy casualties on the siege, and the same would be true in their next major engagement, the Battle of Sarish. In that battle, the 7th Sky Corps attacked a major separatist stronghold on the Corellian trade spine, only to be chewed up in the early stages of the battle by separatist anti-air guns. Commander Cody and several of his men successfully destroyed the guns, but the Republic suffered such extensive losses that, when the droid army counterattacked, the clones stood little chance. The 7th Sky Corps was routed at Sarish and forced to withdraw. Not long after, the unit would lose many more men in a naval battle with General Grievous, in which the Negotiator, General Kenobi's flagship, was captured and destroyed. Throughout 20 BBY, the 7th Sky Corps continued to participate in major engagements, and going forward, most of them were Republic victories. In some, such as the Battle of Rendili, the 7th Sky Corps involvement was minimal, while in others, the unit and its Jedi commander single-handedly turned the tide of entire campaigns. As the year went on, the tide of war steadily began to shift in the Republic's favour, until, in the last month of 20 BBY, the Outer Rim sieges began. As the 7th Sky Corps was renowned by this point for its effectiveness in breaking sieges, it played a major role in the Outer Rim sieges, spending nearly the entire 6 months of the campaign on the front lines. In the Battle of Bomis Kori IV, it captured and destroyed one of the most heavily fortified separatist strongholds on the Corellian trade spine, and it spent months besieging some of the Confederacy's toughest fortresses on unknown and forgotten rimworlds, often enduring miserable conditions with a dogged refusal to quit. The 7th Sky Corps, together with its Jedi General and his frequent partner, Anakin Skywalker, became renowned as a hammer that could drive the Separatists from any planet, no matter how dug in they were. The 7th Sky Corps only got a break from the Outer Rim when they were called in to fight in the Battle of Cato Nemoidia, an attack on the Confederacy's last stronghold in the Greater Core. During the battle, the 7th Sky Corps led the charge in the ground assault, with the 212th accompanying Generals Kenobi and Skywalker in the assault on Newt Gunray's private citadel. The 7th Sky Corps captured Cato Nemoidia, driving Gunray and his aides to the Outer Rim, though intermittent clashes with separatist holdouts persisted until the end of the war. After taking Cato Nemoidia, it was back to the Rim for the 7th Sky Corps. Their next engagement was the Battle of Belderone, in which Republic forces successfully defended a recently recaptured separatist world from General Grievous and his fleet. The 7th Sky Corps also participated in the Battle of Nelvan, helping the Nelvanians drive the Techno-Union from their homeworld. It was shortly after the Battle of Nelvan that news reached the men of the 7th Sky Corps that the unthinkable had happened. Coruscant itself was under attack. By the time the 7th Sky Corps returned to Coruscant, the battle on the ground was mostly over, and all that remained was the naval battle happening above the planet, which Republic forces soon won. The 7th remained on Coruscant for a few days following the battle before they were yet again shipped off to the Outer Rim, this time to Utapau. Republic intelligence had confirmed the presence of General Grievous on Utapau, and the Jedi Council hoped that destroying him would mean the end of the Clone Wars. General Kenobi and the 7th Sky Corps were sent in to do the job. Kenobi went in first and engaged General Grievous, distracting the general while the 7th Sky Corps prepared for an aerial assault on Separatist-held Power City. The diversion worked, and Cody and his men had the element of surprise when they attacked, quickly capturing the Separatist command center and establishing several beachheads in the city. While Kenobi pursued and eliminated General Grievous, 7th Sky Corps drove his armies from Power City, utterly routing them in a matter of hours. Before the battle was over, however, Commander Cody had received new orders from Coruscant. Order 66. On his command, the men of the 212th turned on Obi-Wan Kenobi, nearly killing the man who had led them through 3 years of hell. Cody assumed full command of the 7th Sky Corps, and after driving the Separatists from Utapau, they put Power City under martial law, assuming direct control until Kenobi was located and eliminated. They were still on Utapau the next day when the Galactic Republic was transformed into the Galactic Empire. The Clone Wars finally ended not long after. The 7th Sky Corps became part of the new Imperial military, and its history after this point is entirely unknown. Well, that was a bit of a long one, but we hope you enjoyed our look at the entire history of the 7th Sky Corps and 212th Attack Battalion. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on the 7th Sky Corps? Are they one of your favourites? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.